Step 2. Number 1. Working in Japan. Coco is a student whose dream is to live and work in Japan. She's always been a huge fan of anime and Japanese video games, but she's never actually visited the country and wonders what it will be like. Suzu, a JETRO coordinator for highly skilled foreign professionals, is here to help.
Please come to Japan. You'll be very welcome. Currently, there are about 300,000 international students studying in Japan, and about 1.7 million professionals from abroad are working here.
So many! What attracts them to Japan?
Lots of things. Japan has a very long history, and it's also a world leader in technology. This mixture of the modern and the traditional fascinates visitors from abroad. Japan is also famous for being one of the world's cleanest and safest societies.
I've heard from my friends that Japan is a very safe country with clean streets.
And the variety of food in Japan is quite amazing. Japanese cuisine is a big attraction, of course, but there are restaurants here specializing in the food of almost every country. Public transport is among the world's best, serving every part of the country and famous for being on time. Japan is easy to get to from all parts of Asia, so it won't take you long to fly here from your country.
Japan certainly sounds like a great place to live. You've made me even keener to work there. What's it like working in Japan?
No need to worry about that. Japan is an attractive place to work.
Great! Tell me more.
Well, for a start, Japan has one of the world's leading economies.
Wow!
It's a country that's always been known for innovation. And Japan is still a pioneer in cutting-edge technologies and new services in every field you could think of.
It sounds like there are plenty of possibilities. But what kind of opportunities are there for foreigners like me?
Because Japan's population is aging and the birth rate is declining, companies are looking to expand overseas. This means more and more opportunities here for young people like you. Many people from other countries are now working in Japan. The Japanese government encourages people to come and work in Japan, and organizations from local governments to universities are introducing wide-ranging policies to make it easier for foreign workers.
Thank you! I now have a good idea of what it's like to live and work in Japan.
Suzu, the JETRO coordinator, has given Coco an overview of working in Japan. Coco went to JETRO's website for highly skilled foreign professionals, open for professionals. Working in Japan. Here are the main points. Be sure to watch the next step for more detail on industry and enterprise in Japan.
Good afternoon, friends. It is my pleasure to welcome you to the third edition Japan Career Promotion Forum India. My name is Kajitsu Yoshitake, working in Global Talent Acquisition Division at JETRO Tokyo. I'll be your host today. JETRO organized the first edition in June 2023 and the second edition in November 2023. We received an overwhelming response from India. The interest to know more about opportunities in Japan is increasing rapidly among Indian students. This has encouraged us to organize the third edition of Japan Career Promotion Forum. Based on your request, we have added some new contents in today's program. You will be learning about cultural aspects of Japan, working environment in Japan, interview strategies. You can also get a variety information about latest updates about strategic economic relation between India and Japan, as well as voice of Indian talent working in Japan. To start with, I would like to request Mr. Suzuki, Chief Director General, JETRO New Delhi, to deliver the opening remarks.
Good afternoon, friends. Namaste. I am Suzuki Takashi, Chief Director General and Chief Representative of JETRO India. On behalf of Japan External Trade Organization, JETRO, I am delighted to welcome you all to the third edition of Japan Career Promotion Forum. It's a platform where opportunities meet talent. And today, we aim to provide you with valuable insights and information on the career opportunities available in Japan, as well as the living conditions and cultural aspects of Japan. Japan has opened its doors for investments, tourism, and also for highly skilled individuals like all of you. And the job market in Japan is expanding beyond large corporations to mid-sized enterprises and even Japanese tech startups. They are all eager to take advantage of the diverse skills and fresh perspectives that Indian talent brings. Japan is currently experiencing a significant shift towards digitalization and globalization in various sectors, which are beyond manufacturing, such as finance, healthcare, transportation, logistics, and retail, etc. And Indian professionals are to play a crucial role in driving this progress. We believe Indian talents have the best capability to contribute digitalization and globalization of these Japanese business and industries. Japanese companies are not just looking for employees, they are seeking partners in growth and innovation. Indian talent is already being recognized in the world for its managerial capabilities. Japanese organizations also expect your future high-level positions within their organizations. And this event will feature 3 sessions that will provide valuable insights and perspectives. In the first session, representatives from Japanese Institute, Shimane University, and HCL Technologies Limited, it's an Indian company in Japan, which are also tapping into Indian talent. They will give presentations on their recruitment strategies, how they work together with foreign talent, and the avenues for personal and professional development within their organizations. Following this, the second session will offer an interactive experience with 3 Indian professionals currently working and studying in Japan. Hear firsthand about their experiences living and working in Japan and gain valuable insights into navigating a new culture for you. In the final part of our program, we will also discuss exciting projects initiated by JETRO. Thank you for your attention, and I hope that today's session will inspire you to take the next step towards fulfilling and rewarding your career in Japan.
Thank you for the opening remarks, Mr. Suzuki. Moving forward, our today's guest speaker is Mr. Koji Sato, Chief Director General, Japan Foundation, New Delhi office.
Hello, everyone. Namaste. My name is Koji Sato. I'm the Director General of the Japan Foundation, New Delhi. I believe that this is a really wonderful opportunities for aspiring Indian youth who are thinking of being committed more to Japan. And I would like to express a heartfelt gratitude to all the colleagues or friends of JETRO, just who have organized the third Japan Career Promotion Forum. Japan Foundation is the organization, a governmental organization that promotes the mutual friendship between Japan and the rest of the world. And we have a field of exchange in the arts and culture and the Japanese language education and our intellectual or academic exchange. So that's why not only the JETRO people, but we also just wish that people, youth in India would know more about Japan and increase the likelihood just over a country. And Japan Foundation conducts the survey of the Japanese language education all over the world once in 3 years. And according to that survey, the number of Japanese language learners in India actually tripled in these 15 years. Just the latest survey shows that the number of Japanese language learners in India is across the 36,000. So as I said, tripled. So this is quite a marvelous increase that reflects the expanding interest of just Indian people to Japan. And I hope or I believe that this trend just continues. However, just maybe comparing to the just population ratio, I think India has more potential. So just more and more just people like you, I hope that start learning this beautiful language of Japanese. Why? Because I think I believe that Japan is the country that many people in the world, deserve maybe just committing, their life more. It's a beautiful country with nature, beauty of culture, etc., etc. And of course, more opportunities, for jobs or study. And I believe that Indian people is fluent in English, so it's natural that you tend to go to America or UK just to study or work. Next to English, you people maybe prefer to learn French or Germany because it's easy to learn. Yeah, I understand. But I believe that maybe you people just more, deserve learning other language, especially in Asia. 21st century is said to be the age of Asia. So obviously, people expect that two big countries, China and India, will become the two major biggest economy. And early commerce of Japan or Korea, will partner with those, two big Asian giants, make partnership and grow together. So that vision should be shared. And I hope that many of you will look east and visualize yourself in the future, near future, to work actively in this region, that is Asia. The future only lies in this region. And just, if you, when you just visualize just maybe yourself 10 years or 20 years to go, working actively in Asia. So I believe that just, you will be able to connect yourself with Japan beyond maybe a short-term trip or your likeliness to anime or pop culture. And I really strongly hope so. So in today's seminar, just many Indian friends or early people just who experienced studying or working in Japan and make their life successful. So this is a very good encouragement and learning opportunity. So I hope that just you'll be encouraged very much, and from today, maybe think more positively about committing yourself to Japan in study or business whatsoever. And lastly, Japan Foundation also just provides lots of support to you just who aspire to be committed to Japan. So please get access to Japan Foundation's website or platform. We Delhi office runs our Japanese language course, and we have a library. And Japan Foundation's headquarters website has a platform of self-learning Japanese. And also just we have a YouTube channel of performing arts or fine arts or lots of arts and culture contents, just full of enjoyment. And also Japanese government opened a special website for studying in Japan that supports just giving you lots of important information, that you can benefit from. So from today's onward, I hope that just many of you just think of Japan के साथ आपका विकास. Thank you very much. Namaste.
Thank you, Mr. Sato. In the next session, we would like to showcase the career opportunities in Japan. The speaker is Dr. Hemanth from Shimane University. Dr. Hemanth, over to you.
Thank you very much for the introduction. I am Hemanth. I'm an assistant professor in Shimane University. I'm also affiliated with IIT Hyderabad as an adjunct faculty in Department of Chemical Engineering. I am also affiliated with IJBC in Pune, and also IJSSTE, which is Indo-Japan Society for Science, Technology and Education. So thanks for this opportunity. Today I'll talk about higher education and research opportunities in Japan. First, let me give you a very brief self-introduction. I am Hemanth, and I'm originally from nearby Chennai in South India. I did my schooling there, and then I studied bachelor course or bachelor's degree from Hyderabad, and then got my master's degree from Banaras Hindu University in UP. And then I moved eastwards to Taiwan to get a PhD and postdoc. And then I started working in Japan since 2015 in Shimane University. So it's been almost 10 years, and I also had a little bit of management experience from 2019 to 21. So what do I do? Primarily, I do research on biomedical spectroscopy with data science. I think all the Indians know who is Sir C.V. Raman. So he discovered Raman effect. So I use that effect primarily for my research. We combine it with microscopes to study single cells. We study, apply it for disease diagnostics and so on, for especially in case of. And in order to make decisions, we apply machine learning and artificial intelligence. so that we'll be able to make quick molecular diagnostic decisions. So this is my email. If you have any interest in my research, you can always contact me. And I hope you, most of you can, gain something out of this presentation. So first, I said we are going to talk about opportunities in Japan. My first, suggestion is to come to Shimane because, of course, I live here. I love this place. So this is Japan. Let me show where is Shimane. Tokyo is here. Shimane is here. It's also a long coastline, and this is the state. Shimane we call it as prefecture, but it's a state equivalent in India. And the capital city is Matsue, and we are located in Matsue. And this is one of the least populated states in Japan, with only about under 7 lakh people in the whole state. So that is the the picture. However, there are many excellent places, both heritage and culture in this region. So it's also a very peaceful place. So I hope if you come to Shimane, you will really enjoy doing research and education. Okay, so who am I talking to? I said there are opportunities for research and education, but for who? Okay, primarily this is for students, right? If you are an undergrad student, if you are a master's student or a PhD student in India, well, this presentation is for you. Or if you are researchers already who have obtained a PhD degree and now doing postdoc, or if you are in some scientist position in India, well, you can also gain something out of this. Or if you are a teacher or an academic in higher education institutions, professors, assistant professors, associate professors, and so on, who is looking for change, or some experience abroad, I think it will be very helpful if you consider the information that I'll give from now. So the whole idea is to explore opportunities in Japan. But why do we think that there are opportunities in Japan in first place? That has to be established. So let's first take a look at the total number of higher education institutions in Japan. That is, for example, if you are looking at the number of universities that's shown in this blue line here, you can see in 60s, from 60s, it's been steadily increasing like that, right? You can imagine, looking at this graph, already there are about 750 or 800, a little bit less than 800 universities. These are universities, right? 800 universities in this country. In addition to that, there are also junior colleges equivalent to polytechnics and ITIs and so on. Of course, it's been steadily declining. However, totally put together for technical education, you would say there are more than 1,000 institutions. Well, every country has a number of institutions, that is fine. But also let us look at what is the demographic situation in Japan. What is the population demography, right? If you look at this is in 2018, it's just a snapshot. In 2018, the total number of people between 0 to 14 is given here, right? So you see, large chunk of people are actually working population between 15 and 64. And just to make it very clear, this is it may not be very easy to understand if you are looking at it for the first time. Let's look at the bar graphs here. You see, since 2012, the one that you see in the blue is the total percentage of population in Japan that is between 0 to 14 years. So which is about less than 12%. So less than 12% of whole population is between 0 to 14, and about 60% is in the working between 15 and 65, and 30% are already retired. That means over 65 years. So you see, and this trend is continuing. And currently, since in 2023, the total number of 18-year-old population, that means people who are going to enter colleges, right, at 18 years old, it's only about 11 lakhs, right? So the whole country has only 11 lakh students entering colleges. Can you imagine? And there are about 800 universities. Isn't it, too obvious that the population decline in Japan is very real, and the trend is going to continue for some time now. At least it's not easy to revert it. And in fact, many universities in Japan is not able to get enough number of Japanese students to fill their seats. So obviously that means there are many institutions which have already been which have been established with excellent facilities. However, now there are a lot of vacancies. Well, given that situation, of course, Japan as a country and also many students abroad, globally, have realized that there is an opportunity in Japan. So the number of foreign students in Japan is steadily increasing, as you see. So that means what? That means that Indians can also participate in this, trend. Why is it very suitable for Indians? So in Japan, there is a shortage of highly skilled workforce. When the population is declining, that also means that the number of people who are highly skilled is also declining. That means there are more job opportunities in Japan. So that's very attractive because as Indians, that's what we are looking for. Whenever we go to another country, we want a job, right? That's the main purpose. And because there are established, industries, which cannot actually get good skill labor or workforce, that means the local governments also have a lot of incentives to the industries, and industries are very much willing to work with foreigners so that they can continue their business, So especially there's a very good image and impression about Indians, for high skilled workforce. So that is another plus. In addition to that, before you enter workforce, it's also better to actually get the degree or get some education in Japan so that you understand the culture and so on. You get used to, and then you enter companies in Japan. For that, it is also necessary that we cannot learn everything in Japanese, so that we are looking for opportunities in English. So that means because of this trend, there is also many people, foreign number of foreign faculty members are increasing, and number of courses taught in English is also increasing. Well, let's very quickly look at what are the opportunities for students. Well, if you're a student, see, let me tell you, most of the bachelor's degree or bachelor's courses is in Japanese. So if you are already good at Japanese, you can enter bachelor's course, but otherwise we can focus mostly for master's and PhD students. So you can directly enter for master course or PhD because it's all in English. You don't have to worry at all, or you can enter PhD program directly if you have master's already in India. So what are the advantages? If you enroll in either of these courses in Japan, I've already established, because we already know Japan has excellent research facilities. We always have very high opinion of Japan because of its technology, right? So there is absolutely excellent, good facilities. Universities have good reputation, and Japan as a culture, there is always personal mentorship, especially in laboratories and everywhere in the workforce. So this is very special. So you'll have good guidance, and as a developed country, this is the lowest one can expect in terms of tuition fee. So that means sometimes it's even cheaper than studying in India. In fact, the tuition fee is so low in Japan. And one of the most important things that we should keep in mind is that it's a very peaceful place, and there is no disturbance. As long as you do your work, you're just absolutely fine and safe. So given this, you can also, if you're not very convinced about it, you can also first explore some exchange opportunities. Whether if you're a professor or a student, you can come here for some time through various programs and then experience Japan, and then try to enter Japanese education or industry. If you're already researchers who has obtained PhD in India, you could also look for postdoc positions, or further postdoc experience in Japan is also very useful if you want to go back to India in the future. And of course, if there are scientists or academics who are already having positions in India, you can explore joint research programs or taking sabbatical in Japan. Or if some of you who are interested in making Japan your next home, you can always also look for permanent positions. I am a live example. I have taken a permanent position here, and I'm living in Japan with my family. So I'm sure it is definitely possible. Well, what should you actually keep in mind? All you need to keep in mind from my perspective are these, right? So Japanese language. I think everybody is already aware of that. Japanese language. If you go to any country, of course, language is very important to live comfortably. So, but even if you are not very well versed to begin with, that is absolutely fine. But you should have interest to actually learn the language and settle well. One of the things that nobody talks about is actually, the difference in culture in terms of work and in terms of outlook of life for Japanese people. So it's a very slow-paced environment. So you should have a lot of patience. You will not have sudden growth. So it's a very sustainable, slow and sustainable growth. So it'll really, truly test your patience. If you have enough patience, I'm sure Japan is for you. And if you're in one of these big cities in Japan, of course, there are also lots of networking events, a very good networking scene. As I said here, there's a slow and sustainable personal growth with mentorship and absolutely no racism. That means, as I said, especially for Indians, you are rather respected and welcome. And I think given the excellent job opportunities in Japan, the thing is you should have the right skill set. And if you have the right skill set, and I'm sure you really enjoy, living working in Japan. So I hope you got something out of this presentation. And if you have any chance to visit Shimane, I would encourage you to also look for this lakeside for the sunset, which is very popular and it's very beautiful. Thank you very much for listening to me. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Dr. Swami. Thank you, Dr. Hemant. Next, I would like to call upon Mr. Swami, AGM Talent Acquisition from HCL Tech Japan. Mr. Swami, over to you.
So thank you so much for your introduction. Just to introduce myself to everyone. So warm welcome to everyone first and foremost. So my name is Swaminathan, and I am the head of recruiting at HCL Technologies based in Japan. Overall, I've been here with HCL for almost the past 16 years, and almost the same time I've been living in Japan. So I know most of you might have been excited and inquisitive to know about what it is to work in Japan, how Indian companies are faring in Japan. So probably I want to just spend the next few minutes to tell you about HCL and what we do here and the opportunities that lies ahead of you in Japan. Okay, so I'll just start sharing my screen. Let's move on to the first slide. So Japan at a glance. So I'm sure most of you might have heard bits and pieces about Japan. But as such, Japan, the population as of 2022 is about 124 million. I know it's far less than what we see in India. It's about 10 times more than what it is in Japan, but Japan is what it is. So it is a population lacking country, and it's still in its premise in terms of setting up the goals for the next 50 years. So climate-wise, it's primarily subarctic and subtropical. It has both extremes of temperatures. Language primarily spoken is Japanese. And industry sectors which are largely popular in Japan is electronics and components, and then commodities of agricultural commodities, and then optical and medical equipments, and then iron and steel. These are some of the large industries that Japan is popular. And then in terms of GDP, Japan is standing at 4th position in terms of economy size. And I know India is still catching up, but Japan is where it is today. So the next few slides, I'm going to talk about HCL and what kind of opportunities that lies ahead of you. First, HCL, as you all know, today we are the top 3 IT services companies from India. And so overall, we have our operations in more than 60 countries, and with over $13 billion in terms of revenue. And one of the very, very fascinating aspects of HCL is wherever we do business in whichever country we are very local in terms of our cultural diversity. So we have close to about 159 nationalities working in HCL. And in terms of our recognitions, HCL has been rated the fastest growing company, the top employer. Amongst all the countries we are operating, 26 countries, we are rated as a top employer for some of the best practices or some of the best, work ethics that we showcase to our customers. Now coming to Japan. So Japan, we have been here for almost the last 26 years, and we are headquartered in Tokyo. So we have roughly close to about 500 to 600 odd employees working in Japan. In terms of workforce mix, we are probably about 50-50 in terms of Japanese workforce and then the foreign workforce. Foreign workforce, obviously, it's Indian nationals at large. And then in terms of areas that we largely focus on automotive and engineering R&D. And then we do a lot of work in the IT sector, which is like cloud, SAP, ERP, and then we also do a lot of BPO related stuff. Overall, HCL Japan's revenue is a good share of our overall business revenues globally. And we have been here, and we work with mostly domestic Japanese companies, and we tend to recruit huge number of Indian engineers every year who move either from India or other parts of the regions into Japan. So that's HCL in a nutshell. Okay. Now, what it is to live and work in Japan. So some of the key aspects like living standards. So if you talk about Japan, you always tend to hear stories about the quality of life. Like the streets are extremely clean and the cities are very organized, and the infrastructure and the public transportation are simply at a different level, because you probably see the public transportation system being appreciated by most of the foreigners who visit here. So the living standards are extremely high here. Safety, it has a very, very low crime rate and a high level of public safety in Japan. So, which means that no, you don't tend to see a lot of aspects which you otherwise see in other developed countries in terms of safety. It's a very, very safe place to be. Healthcare, it's one of the world's most developed places. So the healthcare is obviously one of the best in the world. So these are some of the three main aspects with respect to the quality of life of living in Japan. Okay, so next is, why do we choose to work in Japan? First is obviously the technological innovation which Japan is known for. Second is the career opportunities, the number of opportunities that has an offer for most of we Indians. And then the high standards of living and the professional development. So you develop into a very, very thorough professionals if you are coming to work in Japan. And the cultural experience, because of the wide variety of cultures that you see across in a workplace in Japan. The next is global networking. So you see a lot of networking with many different nationalities. The next is salary and benefits. Obviously, salary and benefits is one key aspect which everybody loves to move and work overseas. So it has a good savings potential for most of you. Education and research opportunities and long-term career stability. And then obviously the fun part, which is adventure and exploration. So these are some of the top 10 aspects why people come to work in Japan. Now, there are different kinds of opportunities that you can explore in Japan. Obviously, the first one, which I am being part of, is technology and IT. So that is one key area where a lot of Indian companies and Japanese companies tend to hire a lot from India. Next, engineering. Then the next is manufacturing. And then finance and banking is another sector where a lot of IITs and IIM grads come and join here in Japan. Education, research and development, where a lot of exchange students from India come over here to pursue their higher studies in Japan. And automotive industry, consulting, and then language and translation. So these are some of the top 7 or 8 opportunities that you can pursue when you're moving into Japan. Now, what it is to work in a Japanese environment. I think this is one aspect which most of you might not be very familiar about. First is hierarchy and seniority. Japan as a culture, it has a lot of hierarchy in its structure. Like in India, we tend to call our bosses by their first names, and probably we are too casual about a relationship with our seniors. But in Japan, it's a very hierarchy and respect-driven society. So that's one aspect which you have to keep in mind. Kaizen, which is continuous improvement. So Japanese people tend to put a lot of emphasis on the quality. So there is always a continuous improvement around the quality of stuff they do. Punctuality and discipline, and then lifetime employment. People tend to work for a company for a longer duration, unlike in other Western part of the countries. And then work ethic and dedication, collectivism and group harmony. So this is one aspect where a lot of decisions which people tend to make are as a group. So it's a collective decision making. And then the business etiquette. So as I said, it's a lot of professionalism and business etiquettes in terms of being respectful to others' time, being respectful to others' stature and experience. So these are some of the business etiquette which you have to keep in mind. Last thing is the consensus-based decision making. So no decision is being made by one individual. It is always a group decision which you get used to working in Japan. I think, yeah, these are some of the large aspects which I think most of you might have to know. I know it's a very short presentation, but I think I'll be more than happy to answer if there is any specific questions which you might have. I think you should reach out to the people at JETRO to probably connect you with me if there are any specific questions with respect to working in Japan. So thank you so much.
Thank you, Mr. Swami. I hope you got some insight about career opportunities in Japan, in Japanese university and Indian companies based in Japan. Next, we will move on to the much awaited panel discussion with the Indian talent based in Japan. Without any further delay, I would like to turn over the floor to Jenica, moderator of this session.
Thank you very much, Yoshitake-san. Hello everyone, I am Janika, currently working at the JETRO New Delhi office, and I will be moderating this panel discussion. So today we have 3 panelists, Ms. Mukta Chadda, Ms. Kavleen Kaur, and Mr. Satyashil Kaushik. Among them, 2 are working professionals and 1 is pursuing an MBA in Japan. Our panelists will be discussing various topics, including scholarships, cultural aspects, working conditions, and job opportunities in Japan. This session is structured into two parts. Firstly, each panelist will provide a brief introduction and share insights based on their personal experiences and learnings. In the second half, we will engage in a panel discussion, interacting with the panelists to understand their perspectives, the challenges they encounter in Japan, and their valuable tips for the participants. Now, to commence, I would like to invite Mukta-san to begin her presentation. Mukta-san, over to you.
Thank you, Janika-san. I'll share my screen now. Konnichiwa and namaste to everyone. First of all, I would like to thank you to Jetro, Swastik-san and Janika-san for giving me this opportunity to share my journey with you all. I am Mukta Chadha and I come from Haryana. Today, I will be talking about my work experience in Japan, and I hope all this will motivate you to come to Japan. So coming to my education background, I did Bachelor of Commerce from IGNOU, and currently I'm doing MBA in Operation Management. And I'm level N2 certified in Japanese language and presently working with Quest Global Engineering Private Limited as bilingual software engineer. And I'm living in a city called Nagoya in Aichi Prefecture. Now I would like to tell you some benefits of working in Japan, like safety. So whenever we are talking about to live in a foreign country, so there is one major question we all have in our mind is safety. So from my experience, I can tell you that Japan is an extremely safe country for women to travel or live in. Next, we all know that Japan is advanced in technology. Moreover, Japan is one of those countries which made progress in 80s and 90s in information communication technology area. So if you come from IT background, then you have plenty of opportunities in Japanese market. Next, Japanese people always believe in Kaizen, which means continuous improvement. So they run many career development programs for their employees to improve themselves as a professional worker. Moreover, they also rotate their jobs into various departments to make them multi-skilled resource. Last, I want to talk about is stable employment. I know so many people who want to work in Japan just because job is stable here. And terminating the employees is very difficult in Japan as laws are very strict. Moving forward, I would like to share some tips and advice for Japan. So first, essential tip I can share with you, join communities and make networks on LinkedIn Indeed, because that is going to help you a lot to find a suitable job. Next, work on your technical skills. Learn some business etiquettes and work on your interpersonal skills. And moreover, make your profile strong technically, because if you have right skills in technical area, then you have lot of opportunities in Japan. Next, I would suggest you learn Japanese language up to intermediate level, because that will help you to find jobs in Japan as well as in your daily life in Japan. Next, learn Japan work culture before coming to here, as Japanese companies use many common terms like Horenso, which is a typical communication method used in Japanese companies, which means Hokoku Renraku Sodan, which means to report, to inform, and to consult. So whenever an issue occurs, so employees are guided to report seniors and keep the related member informed, and to have a discussion in a group in order to take the countermeasures. As I move forward, I would like to tell you why you all should consider Aichi Prefecture. So, first of all, expenses. Cost of living in Nagoya is much affordable than other cities like Tokyo and Osaka. As Nagoya is situated in center of Japan, so it is very convenient place. Moreover, it is not overcrowded, and getting to other cities is much easier. And Aichi Prefecture has its own culture and tradition, and there are many places to travel. Recently, I traveled to Koshoji Temple and found Shiva Lingam there. And very less people know about it. So you have many places to travel as well. Last, I want to highlight economy and industry in Aichi Prefecture. So Aichi Prefecture is the heart of business and industrial network in the country since major automobile companies are here like Mitsubishi and Toyota. But there are other companies as well like Fuji Corporation, Pasco, Denso, Brother Industries. So this strong economy of Aichi Prefecture provides its residents ample job opportunities and relatively high standard of living. So if you have planned to come to Japan, you can consider Nagoya. I hope my all tips and advice will help you to come to Japan. Thank you so much for hearing me today.
Thank you, Mukta-san, for your insightful presentation. I think your tips were highly informative, and I'm sure they will inspire individuals aspiring to build a life in Japan. Next, I would like to invite Ms. Kavleen to deliver her presentation. Over to you, Kavleen-san.
Hello, everyone. Konnichiwa, minasan. First of all, I would like to thank JETRO for this opportunity. And now allow me to take you all on a virtual trip to Japan. On this virtual trip, we will explore the following as shown on the screen. So first of all, a very small introduction of your tour guide. So I am Kavleen Kaur, originally from Delhi, and currently I am a master's student at Ritsumeikan Asia Pacific University. I chose Japan for my higher studies because of its renowned education system and unique cultural experience. Of course, the decision was backed up by the availability of scholarships and collaborative opportunities. And I had a prior experience of working with Fujitsu, so that helps me a lot. So now, why I chose Japan? So I chose Japan because of the academic opportunities, professional development, cultural experience, and personal growth. For academic opportunities, you have various kinds of business programs. You can collaborate with other international universities, not even in Japan, like more about after that. And now there are like a lot of scholarship programs. Professional development, we have like a lot of internship programs. Plus, we have networking events, job fairs, you can network with people. Cultural experience, if you want to know the culture more in depth, you can have a homestay program. So you can stay with Japanese people, like for a time periods of like 2 months or 3 months or for a 1 month also. And then there is like Japanese food and festival. Of course, everyone loves Japan foods and festivals. For the personal growth, I would recommend you feel independence and resilience in yourself. You will have a sense of responsibility and courage to take up all the challenges. And most important, language skills. There will be a language skill improvement in not only in Japanese, the university also offers you different kinds of other languages. For example, like Thai, Taiwanese, Chinese, and more. So academic life in Japan. It is very vibrant and diverse. It's a very multicultural learning. People are from very different kinds of countries, not only from like Japan, India. No, they're like very far from away, the places we have never even heard about it. And we engage in a practical learning through the case method. And there is a strong support from our university and ensuring they're all students to excel in their studies and get a lot of opportunities and network opportunities also. So coming to Japan, I had a very certain expectations about language and culture integrated. Although I know the language, but still I was, leaving my country for the very first time. And reality was much more welcoming with the extensive support from the university and the student activities that helped me to integrate smoothly and got more understanding about the Japan culture. And everyone's favorite topic about the finance. Everyone worries about the finance when they come to like not only to Japan or any other country. So we do have like a lot of scholarship. We just need to know the right place to search for that. And we have like scholarships. Japan offers like JASO and MEX. So you can further look upon it. And you can also do a part-time. You can support yourself. You can work 28 hours per a week. So you can support yourself financially without even asking money from your family. Daily life and cultural integration. For daily life and cultural integration, we have a lot of local Festivals, you can enjoy them like Onsen Matsuri, they have Hanabi Matsuri, Sakura Matsuri. You can literally enjoy the all traditions of Japan and food. Language exchange. Of course, that's a very most important thing, and you'll get a more wide opinions and understanding of a better betterment. Culture and clubs. As we all know, Japan always promotes cultural clubs, and they always ask their students from their beginning of the study cycle. They have a lot of extracurricular activities, which makes a person improve their own personality. So, where I live, it's Beppu. It's a kind of far from Tokyo, but it's a very nice place. There is a hot springs capital. It's a tourist attraction. We have very good sightseeing all around. We have Yufin around. We have beaches, and plus we have mountains. My university is all itself in mountains. It's a very cultural heritage place. We have educational institution where I'm studying. It's an international background and international environment over here, and environmental initiatives. Not only Beppu people are also focusing how they can save environment in Japan, and they can contribute towards the society. This is some of the places, just the Beppu Eki very first. It's just nearby my home, and it's very nice, and it's like, wow, it's Japan. There are like some few places. So I talk about the opportunities beyond now academics. Beyond the classroom, we have a learning, international universities. Like it's provide numerous of opportunities for us. For example, we can work with our professor to train highly qualified white collar job people. I had experience with my professor to work with them, and I trained the people from Daikin and different companies. Network opportunities. Of course, if you are training them, you always get opportunity to connect with them and teach them. Travel, of course. If you're in Japan, for sure you're gonna travel a lot, because Japan is already a very famous and beautiful place to have a look around. So these are just pictures from Beppu only. It's a sunrise, just a 5 minutes walk away. Hanabi Matsuri, you can enjoy snow, vegetarian ramen, and everything. These is my university pictures, and with my professors, with my colleagues, and one of them is like, two of them pictures are from which I trained Daikin people and GSUP people. These are my final thoughts. My journey in Japan has been about more than just academic growth. It's about pursuing your own dream with confidence and embracing continuous improvement. As you all know, Japanese people do believe in Kaizen, and that's a very good concept. And plus Ikigai, we should know the purpose of our living, what we want to do in future, what we want. So I feel Ikigai, for being over here, I can realize sometimes why I am here, what I should do. And it makes you more connected to yourself with the nature also. Last, it's Nanakorobi ya Oki. It's a saying in Japanese, but we do have in Hindi also. Fall 7 times, stand up 8. So, जो गिर के उठता है वही सब कुछ कर सकता है. That's it. Thank you. Arigatou gozaimashita.
Thank you, Kavleen. Lastly, I would like Satyashil-san.
Hi, thank you so much, Janika-san. First of all, I'd like to, thank Jetro, Janika-san, and Swastik-san for this opportunity. So my name is Satyashil Kaushik. I'm living in Kanagawa-ken in Japan, and originally I'm from Rishikesh, India. So I journeyed to Japan, to seek new opportunities, new experiences, and I've been living in Japan from last 4.5 years. And after my graduation, and after my master's from Delhi University, I started learning Japanese language. And after that, I joined NEC India. So in NEC India, with the OJT on the job training, I was able to learn the Japanese language culture, and that made my skills of the Japanese language better over the time. And with ample opportunity, to work with many different Japanese clients, I was able to travel to Japan. And, I came to Japan in 2020, and then I worked as a bilingual coordinator in Japan, in Tokyo area. And in the year 2024, I joined Nagaro Kabushiki Gaisha, and I joined as a staff consultant. So till now, I am working in a corporate sector in Japan. And as far as my city, my place is concerned, so here are a few pictures for you. So there is Kawasaki. It's there nearby Tokyo. So for your reference, it's like Delhi, Gurgaon. So Kawasaki can be Gurgaon and Tokyo can be Delhi. So yeah, so yeah, there's a Tama River nearby my house. So it's just a sunset view, and that's also Mount Fuji that can be seen from Kawasaki. And now, if we talk about the opportunities in Japan, so Japan has a very great culture for opportunities, and of course for Indians as well, like IT sector, engineering sector, healthcare, education. There are so many sectors where one can experience so many things. And just to highlight a few, I would say the efficient public transportation in Japan, and learn about the culture and punctuality in Japan, and that too in Japanese way. And as far as the work is concerned, so everybody has heard about it. But other than that, there's a great work-life balance in Japan. For instance, I like playing cricket and football. And for your surprise, Japan has more than 80 cricket clubs in all over the country. And just for your reference, I'm gonna share a few pictures for you. So that's how cricket is played in Japan. There are international cricket stadiums in Japan. And other than that, if I can tell, in my experience, 50% of Japanese corporations are all about, journalists rather than specialists. So they would like people, who have good attitude, and those who can work, do their work religiously. And then, sometimes they don't even think about hiring those people. You just need to have a good attitude to have that specific job. And in conclusion, I would say that the journey, my journey till now in Japan, is a very transformative, because I've learned the Japanese language, and there is a diversity. And certainly I would recommend and encourage all the students to come to Japan, and just to embrace this language learning journey. And because I'm certainly sure that the so much doors of and opportunities will be there, just like it did for me in Japan. And in the last slide, I would like to show how's my life in Japan. So other than Japanese language skills, there are some different attributes as well, like the importance of politeness and respect in Japan. How to bow, and there are a few etiquettes as well that you got to learn while you were in Japan. And there's a business culture, the understanding of hierarchy of the company, and the workspace dynamics. And of course, the non-verbal communication, like body language, how you're making an eye contact. For example, if you're in office or even in your train, so how you behave. So there are so many things that you may not know about yourself, but once you are in Japan, you're gonna learn about all those things. And now the most important thing here in Japan, so as Indians, we always think about food and cooking, and to procure Indian ingredients and food in Japan. So in my opinion, Japan has everything for you. Okay, so all the ingredients, everything is available. So at my home, I cook everything, even though sometimes when I don't want to cook. So there are many Indian restaurants, and they do not let me miss my home. So here I'm gonna share a few pictures for you. You can check yourself, like how good food here in Japan. As you can see, there is a biryani masala which I made, and then there is sadhya, authentic Kerala food, and then there are different things which are there on the screen, as you can see. And trust me, these are very delicious. So all in all, I would suggest all of you, and request all of you to learn Japanese. Just come to Japan and be the part of this vibrant and beautiful country. And at last, thank you so much. 本当にありがとうございました。
On how Japanese companies value generalist over specialist. your emphasis on the significance of hard work and a learning attitude in securing employment, even without a specialized background, is truly insightful. Moving forward, I have curated a series of questions based on your presentations and the interest shared by students in our previous webinars. We will now transition into an interactive Q&A session. So my first question is directed towards Kavleen-san. Considering that you reside in a small town in Japan called Beppu, what has your experience been like living in a small town in Japan, and how do you keep yourself entertained and motivated?
Thank you for your question. Like despite I'm living in a very small town of Japan, I have a immense view to their deep Japan, how the people are over here. So basically, there are more old peoples, but they are very helpful and very nice people all around. And keeping myself motivated, I keep myself motivated by most of the time visiting towards beach and mountain. I'm a beach and mountain person, and this is a very beautiful and perfect combination of a person who can find anything if they want. For entertainment, we have like some social clubs. You can join them. We have university extracurricular activities, and for networking also. We do have like some jobs fair happening like time to time in Oita. So it's just like 10 or 15 minutes away from Beppu. So it's not only like you are living in a small town, so you don't have any opportunity for networking also. We do have that opportunity also. It's just that someone needs to utilize it in a very better way. Yes, thank you.
Thank you. So I think even small towns in Japan offer networking opportunities and sources of entertainment, making them appealing to residents. Next, I would like to ask Mukta-san, could you please share your experience of living in Japan? And do you feel secure residing there as a female? Also, do you want to share any personal experience?
Kanika-san, first of all, thank you for the question. So it has been a year that I'm living in Japan, and Japan is a very safe country for everyone without any gender discrimination. There is no discrimination. Moreover, I have my personal experience to share with you that when I was new in the country, I was traveling to a city called Arimatsu. So I was on train, and when I got off from the train, I realized that I lost my wallet in the train somewhere. That time I got extremely worried and nervous, and I did not know how, like, what to do and whom to inform. So at that moment, somehow I calmed myself and immediately informed the incident to station in charge. That person also calmly listened to me and guided me to go to the last station where the train was scheduled to stop. So when I reached there, and their people also verified some of the questions with me in order to confirm the owner of the wallet. So after the verification, I got my wallet back, and I felt so relieved as I was carrying my all the cash cards, my identity card, even my metro card in my wallet. So this incident made me feel little nervous, but I'm glad that I got to know about the Japanese people, that how they support foreigners in their country when they are in need. Thank you.
Wow. I think exceptionally low crime rate in Japan is a strong reason for individuals, especially females, to consider Japan as a preferred destination for living. Now, I would want to know Satyashil-san's point of view. Also mention in your presentation, given the diverse food preferences in India, do you think food can be a challenge in Japan?
Well, I don't think so. Now I think in Japan everything is available. So Japan even now has a vegan culture. So for all the vegetarian friends, I can tell you that vegan option is there in Japan. So you can be just free and roam around and eat whatever you want to eat. Other than that, as I mentioned already in my PPT, that you can get all the ingredients in Japan. If I can tell you that you can get North Indian or South Indian food, so that would be very not very specific, I will say. So if I can tell you that you can get Mangalorean, Kerala and Chettinad food here in Japan, so that is very specific. And there are restaurants which are in the Michelin guidebook, and those are Indians restaurant, and they are cooking some beautiful and very tasty food. So I can assure you that everything is here, my friend. Everything is here.
Thank you. I think your clarification regarding the availability of Indian and vegetarian cuisine in Japan clears a lot of misconceptions, reassuring people about dietary options in the country. So, now continuing with you for a quick comparison. Considering that there are some key differences in the approach to job interviews and recruitment processes in Japan compared to India, how can Indian aspirants best prepare for these differences?
I think Japan is a set pattern for interviews, like any other thing. So they have a system for everything, right? So interviews are highly formal and structured, and there may be multiple rounds which last for a month or two, and they will check your technical skills and your cultural things, or even sometimes they will check your personal background. So, to Indian aspirants, I can suggest, to study up the Japanese business etiquette, first of all, the culture norms, understand how to respect and, the humility, how it is expressed in the Japanese corporate settings. And most importantly, I would say that research the company thoroughly, just to understand, its value and its goals, and show how you can contribute to their objectives. And lastly, just be honest. Japan is a country where everything runs on a trust system. So there are instances when employers don't even check the background of an employee and just hire the person because they think that that person is honest and has a very good attitude. So that's my suggestion.
Wonderful. I think your points are very relevant as there has been a great amount of interest in how to prepare for job interviews. Next, I would like to ask Mukta san. So, having worked in both Japanese and non Japanese companies, how would you contrast the working environments in these settings?
Um, so, Japanese companies, first of all, they focus on collective and group harmony. And Japanese company follows the hierarchy. Whatever happens in the office, everything has to follow the hierarchy standards. And moreover, and Japanese people promote polite and formal culture in the office. Regarding work-life balance, they expect from employees to, work, prioritize their work on their personal life, and they prefer to sometimes they prefer sometimes to from employees to overstay. But recently I have noticed in my office this thing is changing in Japan. So these are the things which I have noticed in my experience.
Hmm. Yeah, I think such comparisons can serve as valuable insights for individuals preparing to enter a Japanese company. So, Kavleen san, for the final comparison, how does university life in Japan differ from that in India concerning campus, culture, and academics?
Oh, so it's way different from India. In my experience, I got like more global perspective. It's like not only like my mindset is not only in India, Indian. So I met people from different countries, different regions, from Japan, from Australia, from America, from Indonesia, Thai, Swadini, like the people like from the places I have never heard about sometimes. I'm like, oh, there are places like this. I need to search where is this place in all globe. And then we we have like a lot of group works. In a team we work, so we learn in a team like how to work together, and plus with that how we need to someone has to be a team leader and cope up with everything. So it makes you independent also, and make you responsible for your own thing. And you have to learn accept the criticism also, like you cannot be right always. You have to convince people like for your ideas, and then you have a brainstorming session with them. And from that alternative, I think it's a very good perspective for someone as an individual to grow, to make their point of view stronger as an individual also.
Right. Your comparison sheds light on a very unique aspect of university life in Japan compared to India. So, last question to you. How can individuals explore the various scholarships offered by Japanese universities?
So for that, a person, like, first of all, like whichever university they are aiming for in Japan, first of all, like every Japanese university, they do have a specific dedicated section for finance and finance aid and scholarship. So first of all, they should, like, look and explore over their research over there. And if they get very good opportunities from there, that's very well and very good. And plus with that, Japan government is also offering like JASO and mixed opportunities. So people, if apply them, they could receive a very good amount from you know government. So it makes you more, believe in the country and support your education system. And plus, like, if you have a business idea and it's very good business idea, in my university we do have opportunity like to give them a business model, and what are we are planning everything for future ahead. And my university like support that person like 40% in finance. So it will be a good opportunity for a person who wants to be an entrepreneur. Like in Japan, they can have their business, like we think about it, like how to finance it. So after graduating, you can have that opportunity also. So it's good to explore that too.
Nice. I think your experience in discovering and utilizing scholarships is reassuring for participants seeking educational opportunities in Japan. Next, Mukta-san, could you highlight key points that Indians should consider while engaging with Japanese colleagues or clients?
So there are some general rules which I think everyone should follow when they are working with Japanese, like punctuality. Japan is famous for its, punctuality, and Japanese people always like to arrive on 5 minutes before on their on the set timing. Whether it's a professional setting or a private setting, they are always on time. And when you are late, so it is often considered as disrespectful, as it shows that you do not value other person's time. And but I would like to tell you one more thing. Whenever you commit mistake, do not over explain yourself, and do not do apologize for it. As Japanese people says that nobody is perfect, but an apology can really help you to build the communication and build a network with your seniors and with your colleagues. Moreover, when you're talking to your seniors, have a sense of responsibility while talking to them. That will also help you to build the connection with them. Thank you.
Right. I think from my experience, I would also agree with all your points. And along with the language, these cultural nuances are very important when working for a Japanese company. So, for the last question of this segment, Satyashil san, there is a common perception that changing jobs in Japan is uncommon and challenging. What are your thoughts on this?
See, as an Indian in Japan, I can share that, the perceptions about changing jobs in Japan, it's certainly different from other countries. So here, traditionally, people are, they focus on job stability and long-term commitment to their employers. However, things are gradually shifting, and that too with the younger generation. And in my opinion, one of the big factor is the influence of the global business mindset in Japan. Like for foreigners, including Indians, so there are challenges such as language proficiency and understanding cultural expectation of job transition, etc. So there are a few things, but overall, while most jobs changes in Japan may lean towards stability, but young Japanese, they are changing jobs, especially those who have edge of global experience, like for example, like good spoken English, or those who have a strong domain knowledge. And also, in recent time, after Corona and everything, so foreigners have come to Japan. So now Japanese do not need to go to other countries to get that exposure. Now so many people are already working in the same environment, so now they have exposure to the global mindset already within Japan. So that may be a reason.
I think in this discussion, the difference between common perceptions and the reality of Japan's job opportunities was highlighted. The common perceptions can sometimes be different from the reality. So with this, we conclude our panel discussion. Thanks to Mukta-san, Kavleen-san, and Satyashil-san for sharing their valuable expertise. I think finding a job or living in Japan is not as difficult with the right knowledge. And I hope this session helps you navigate your career in Japan. I wish all the participants all the very best in their future endeavors and encourage them to explore the opportunities that Japan has to offer. Over to you, Yoshitake-san. Thank you.
Thank you, Jenica, and the panelists for sharing your interesting experiences in Japan. I hope the student must have learned a lot. Our last presenter will be Miss Miyong Yu from the Global Talent Acquisition Division, JETRO Tokyo. Miyong will briefly explain about JETRO's initiative and upcoming events. Miyong, over to you.
Good evening, everyone. Namaste. मेरा नाम मियोंग है, working in Global Talent Acquisition Division at JETRO Tokyo. Today, I would like to introduce about JETRO's support for global talent. So JETRO has been operating a website called Open Professionals to promote the active participation of highly skilled foreign professionals in Japan. So this initiative started from 2019, and every year close to 300 companies are supported under this initiative. Coming to the student perspective, we have dedicated pages on our website, both English and Japanese. We provide various information about studying and working in Japan, visa-related informations, and videos about the global talent from different kind of country who have shared their experiences living and working in Japan. Coming to the next slide, we also organize online job fair, which is exclusively for international students, both Japanese and English. More than 300 companies participate across Japan from Hokkaido to Okinawa, and also close to 4,500 registration from students in our last year job fair. Last but not least, we also have unique corporate database associated with us called as OFP List, containing information about Japanese companies interested in highly skilled foreign professionals. So you can find out various career opportunities in Japan through OFP List. For all upcoming events and job fairs, please follow us on social media, Facebook and X. So here are the QR codes, so please scan this QR code and start following from today. We already have approximately 25,000 followers on our social media, so please be part of our social media and stay tuned for upcoming events organized by JETRO. Thank you so much.
Thank you for a wonderful presentation, Miyong. Friends, thank you very much for staying with us till the end. I hope that you have gained a lot of insights about living and working in Japan from our wonderful speakers today. Let us know your feedback about today's webinar. You must have received an email along with feedback form. We would appreciate if you could take out a moment to complete the form. On behalf of JETRO and our presenters, thank you for joining us today. You will also receive a follow-up email with a link to view a recording of today's webinar. Once again, thank you so much. Bye.